All right, my G's, so let's design something together today in Serum. And I wanted to do something that involves like having a confluence of rhythms, right? So there's something that is always a great way to, a way that you can always approach sound design in a very creative way. And yeah, so a confluence of rhythms, I kind of want like two rhythms happening at the same time in the patch. And then I want them to sort of overlap sort of unintentionally to create something new. That's the idea, right? So I've just programmed in a little, I think is it D? No, it's F and F sharp. And let's just design something together and yeah, see what we can come up with here. So let's just go to a random wavetable. Maybe we'll start with this one. And so we're going to do, as I mentioned, a confluence of rhythms. So we're going to have two LFOs going on, right? Maybe we can start one sort of a 1/2. We might change them a bit later, you know. So that's maybe one idea, and then yeah, let's maybe get a low pass square wave as I did a video recently on those. I quite like those. So yeah, let's get a low pass going on here. And let's get the square wave going on a different rhythm then. So we'll put LFO2 on the low pass filter here. And I quite like that. That was quite nice actually. It's actually 1/4. Let's move it over here, and already we've got something interesting. Got something interesting happening already, right? So let's sort of go ahead and enhance it. Let's try a bit of FM routing. Let's see how that works. We'll put this one on LFO1. And let's see if we can have maybe a bit of distortion on this one as well. Put the LFO1 on that as well. Test out a bit of unison, but I think I'll probably leave them at 1. Oh, you know what? That one sounds good though. Yeah, I like that. I like that one on the unison on the grimace here. So that we'll leave that on. We can try a bit of FM as well on this oscillator here. Or I tell you what we'll do actually on this one, because we've only got 2 warp modes to use up. We can use some noise, and we'll amplify the noise on the LFO. We'll run that through the square wave. I might go for a bit of a try the bright white. That's quite nice, and we're going to put that on the other LFO, on LFO2. So that sounds pretty interesting already, doesn't it? Right. So I'm doing it quite simple. Like it's quite easy to follow because I'm basically putting all the LFO2 movements on oscillator B and the LFO1 movements on oscillator A. You know, but we don't have to stay like that. We can think about which parts of the sound that we like when we do something new, and then which LFO to assign that to. So now if we go over to add a filter in, for example, we could put maybe... Well, it sounded really nice. It sounded really nice actually just having only oscillator A filtered and leaving B as it is. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll just have oscillator A going through. Maybe we'll use the oscillator A LFO, the LFO1, on the cutoff on this one. Or not. Perhaps we'll try LFO2 on there and see how that responds. That's got a nice, interesting rhythm there. I think it sounded nicer the other way around. it's difficult to sometimes sort of predict or know which way it's going to work best in terms of the sound design, like which way you apply the modulation, you know, left or right, whatever, you know, like sort of positive or negative. It's difficult to know sometimes how it's going to react, and I'm going to tell you guys I don't often know like which way round is going to sound better. I just try them both out and I just pick the best you know option, you know. But this one, it kind of sounds better going to the right in that on that rhythm line. Maybe we'll do filter 2 then with the oscillator B. But we won't do a low pass then. We'll do maybe a band reject filter. It's pretty good. And we'll try LFO1 on that one. So at this point, it's got quite complex with, you know, what LFO's doing what to the sound. And we're basically going to just go with the flow and pick which LFO like we kind of want to use for which parameter, and just sort of have a listen and see how it reacts, you know. So now I really like the LFO1 on this band reject filter here. So this is already a great sound now. So let's go ahead over to the effects and yeah, just modify things a little bit more here. So try the blur mode, see what we can get out of this. On the bode. So that's quite interesting. Let's see how it reacts when we mix that. So I actually like that. It's given us that. Yeah, we've honed in on that sort of higher end, sort of buzzy, fuzzy kind of parts of the sound. You know, a bit of a crispier sound. Yeah, we're sort of targeting that crisp. And putting extra movement on that, and that's giving us actually quite a nice extra bit of kind of groove and funk, you know, actually. I quite like that. It's made the patch a little bit more funky. So let's add some chorus next. Maybe we'll go for the LFO1 here on the low pass filter of the chorus. I think maybe the other way around is better. Yeah, pretty nice around there. Now let's do a bit of distortion. And we'll just use the low-high splitter and distort the high end. Sort of above, we'll start around maybe 1,000. Diode 2 sounding nice. Let's try this on the LFO1 though, perhaps on the mix. Let's try the other way as well. I think the first way around was a little bit nicer. Now let's put the LFO2 on the cutoff position here. Oh, now you've got a really interesting sort of pitch movement happening. Almost sounds like it adds a bit of a vibrato effect, kind of, you know. It's quite weird that just happened. That's a bit of a magic, happy accident kind of thing, you know. Can you hear that? There's like a bit of a like pitch kind of vibrato effect. Especially towards the end on that last note. That's really nice. Oh, I love that. That's completely happy accident there. That's what happens when you try this sort of technique, you know? just leave the flanger on a little bit without any modulation there. It's already moving itself. It's a little bit anyway. Let's try the hyper dimension. Again, that sounds pretty good. And again, we can try. So the hyper kind of adds a bit of pitch movement to everything, and the dimension just adds a bit of a stereo kind of reverb, you know? I like that though, it's already sounding great. You could sort of stop there. We'll do a touch more though. We'll do a little bit of, I like to sort of finish off with an extra layer of filtering. Maybe just a cheeky little notch filter. Just sort of tie it all together. And we'll try an LFO on here. Let's try LFO 1 on this guy. Oh yeah, there we go, there we go. Really gives it a nice defined shape now in the low mid-range. Okay, much better with that filter on. So we could probably finish it up there. We can add a touch of convolution. I've got my pre-made convolution reverbs I dropped on my Patreon a while ago. I think they're free on the free member kind of tier on Patreon. Stapler's quite nice. I like how it's quite delayed. So because it's sort of a delayed convolution, it adds like an extra little burst of new harmonic sounds sort of in the gaps a little bit of what the LFOs are doing. Quite like that, so let's mix that down a bit. So it's going to sit like just behind the other stuff, the sort of main filter movements, you know. A little bit lower, it's almost going to be unnoticeable, but it's just going to fill out the sound. So lovely, lovely there. We can pretty much call it a day there, but I'll do a bit of EQing just as a little kind of mastering thing. Just see if we can get a nice little, maybe a little treble boost going on somewhere. It's nice to boost if you can find a nice spot sometimes around sort of 1.5k and 2k, something like that. That's sort of the biting point of the treble. Can help you push sort of a bit more bite and clarity through from what you've already created, you know. We can try a little bit of a similar thing in the low mids as well. Pretty good. So with the EQ, yeah, it just kind of defines the shape a little bit better. And there we could leave it. I mean, I'm pretty much using it one of everything here. I like to do that though because you get a lot more refined, you know, much more refined sound. Just a touch of hall reverb to give it like a final bit of depth right at the background of the sound, and that's a really good one. That's a nice live sound design patch that we've made together. It's the confluence, isn't it? It's confluence of interest. There you go. It's a cool name for a patch, I think. What do you guys think? But yeah, great. And now we've sort of set everything up, and we chose all of our, you know, modulation amounts and everything with, within the FM and the, the distortion filtering and all this kind of stuff. We chose it all, we just did one take, but what I could do is I could go back and tweak things a bit here on everything. Yeah, and if I wanted to, I could just sort of like get it a little bit more, precise and in sort of enhancing, exactly which parts of the sound I like and like kind of moving always in that direction, But it was already pretty good, I think, as it was, as I saved it. I think we got it pretty nice the first time round for this one. So anyway, that's it for today, my G's. That's just a little breakdown of how my sort of brain works when I'm designing patches and the different techniques that I employ while I'm trying to create a sound and do synthesis and make basses and leads and stuff. And this is just a great trick that I often do, and it's it's a confluence of interests. So it's basically having two LFOs and not being rigid with which one has to go on which, but just having that, giving yourself that chance, allowing yourself those happy moments to happen where one sound's moving this way and the other part of the sound's moving that way, and somewhere in the middle they might sort of meet and do something weird and something different. And so that's sort of how you can get give rise to these happy accidents and nice new tonalities, and so you've got interesting rhythms, interesting grooves kind of coming together, and sort of the tone sort of shifting and changing together as well. So that's a great way to approach synthesis in my opinion. So thank you very much for watching, my G's. Make sure you like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below if this helps you out with your synthesis. And if you also check out the other links in my description for my videos, you can find my preset packs for Serum, Phase Plant, Vital and Current. Thank you to everyone who's already grabbed preset packs from me in the past. It really helps me to keep doing these YouTube tutorials as well. And also, massive thank you to all of the new patrons I have. We've actually got up to over 420 members on Patreon now, but you can actually already join for free. So a lot of members on there join for free as well. See what you can get, get some free downloads, that kind of stuff. The Patreon is like the back end of my YouTube channel. It's where I like drop, free stuff occasionally. And then if you ever want to upgrade and join our Discord tier, that's where all the action is regarding everyone chatting together, sharing feedback and advice on music production. And that's where we start our group classes and our group feedback live streams that I do on YouTube once a month as well. So also, if you want to like really go in detail with me on a one-on-one session, you're more than welcome to book in production lessons with me. It's something I've done for 4 or 5 years, taught over 150 people now. I don't know if I'll do it forever, but I'm still doing it. I'm trying to do it for as long as I can. And I love teaching the one-on-ones. It's one of my favorite things to do, actually. So hopefully she'll be doing that for a few more years to come. But we'll see. Thank you very much then, my G's. Also email me if you need any mixing and mastering work done. I do get a lot of great feedback from my mastering services. So if you need like a quote, just email me for that. All right. Thank you very much. That's it for me today. More from me very soon. Much love.